Why hello there. It's been a while, hasn't it? I've been off and on doing research onto a lot of subject matter that tends to go about the internet and so on. And today, I feel the need to cover an intriguing topic that you could say is pretty old, yet cryptic. And it's a secret that lies behind a game that many do not know. So let's get into it. You might have heard of Kanye West, a famous artist known for his spoken word poems, hip-hop debuts, and his marriage to Kim Kardashian. You may have even heard of the 2013 indie-developed game Kanye Quest. However, you may not have heard about one of the alternative endings to the game, a supposed real-life invitation to join a cult. Kanye Quest 3030 is a 2013 released hip-hop themed science fiction 2D role-playing video game, which was available on Steam, Newgrounds, and other popular video game related websites for a while. It is not known who the developers were for the project, but we do know that this game is supposedly completely unrelated to Kanye West in terms of official brand awareness. However, there's a lot more to this funny little game than meets the eye. It apparently was hiding a secret from a lot of people, and that secret involves a cult recruitment ARG known as extensionism. Today, we will be going into bits of details into this title, that from what I've heard was taken out of stores after the truth of this game was brought to the light. Who knew that an innocent looking game would hide such a secret, but at the same time present itself in a supposed comedic title? Will uncovering this said secret cause you harm? Will it make an impact onto your life as we speak? Stay tuned, and I will showcase the mysterious and yet infamous tale of Kanye Quest, the hidden cult recruitment ARG. The story of the game begins in January 2010, when Kanye West is taking out the trash one day, but he abrasively finds himself traveling across a wormhole. Emerging on the other side, Kanye opens his eyes and to his amazement finds himself in the year 3030, in a dystopian city filled with clones of hip-hop musicians and under the control of a godlike dictator, as well as the goal of Kanye getting back home. Kanye Quest came and dispersed fairly quickly. The developers may not have generated much, if any, money from the game, due to the game being free to download and play. Kanye Quest never even made any bestsellers list, nor did it become a viral sensation. It did feature on many sites such as Newgrounds and Kotaku, and generated mixed responses from critics, and was soon left to collect virtual dust as those who had once played in middle school grew older, and they developed their library of games even further, as well as eventually beginning to forget about the game altogether. That is, until things were discovered later on. Even the ending on Kanye Quest was nothing spectacular. Kanye and his followers battle against the dreaded base god clone, in which Kanye and his followers band together in their typical turn-based formation to knock the absolute hit points out of base god clone, and eventually defeat him, granting Kanye the ability to finally return to modern day and live happily ever after. The game ends, the gamer shrugs, and life goes on. Of course, until it was discovered that a secret of this innocent game was very much hidden under our noses. You know that word I mentioned at the beginning of the video, ARG? Well, for those of you who do not know, it stands for Alternative Reality Game, or games. These are known as fictional narratives that unfold over time, used in the real world as a platform to tell a story that gives players control, or at least the illusion of it, over events that unfold. A great example is the 3301 ARG, but that is for a whole nother video. Some ARGs may ask you to follow narrative threads from one platform to another, such as if you see a business card while watching a YouTube video, check to see if the company has an online presence or try calling the telephone number. These real-life players typically work together to piece together bits and scraps of info to uncover larger stories, acting as narrative archaeologists. Often, the community of players that form around these games can help point you in the right direction. ARGs will usually involve real-life actions. An example of this is the infamous I Love Bees ARG, in which many members of the gaming community began to receive seemingly random jars of honeypots delivered to their address with the words I Love Bees written on the jars. Many of said members of the community banded together to try and understand more about such a mystery, which ended up being an elaborate marketing campaign for the upcoming Halo 2 release. ARGs are often made with the intention of using them for marketing and advertising purposes, as it often generates interest in articles. ARGs can also be used to create a form of communication with a petite amount of people from a particular community. However, Kanye Quest in itself does have a secret ARG behind it. I believe how it was truly found was via data mining. And what that is it's the process of accessing the in-game files, giving one the ability to view the developer code in which the game was created. Through this, we can learn a lot, from what languages was used to build it, to how the developer used such languages to build and develop the game, to accessing single image files, as well as information that was never intended to be viewed by the user. As just mentioned, data mining is often used in the real world by people to access hidden content within a game that cannot otherwise be viewed. An example of this is members of the community data mining recent releases of the world-famous Pokemon games in order to gain info about certain items of Pokemon which are otherwise not available to the user, as well as a special Pokemon. Due to this discovery, Red and Blue became worldwide, all-time bestsellers after rumors spread globally about the hidden Pokemon Mew, and people quickly began to conspire on how to access this Pokemon in-game, and who was going to be the first one to do it. But anyways, we're getting off topic. Let me describe to you Kanye Quest's ARG, or shall I say big secret. In 2015, it was discovered by an anonymous user that there was more than one ending to the game. The discovery was posted in a pastebin file, in which the anonymous user claims to have discovered the ending via the use of inputting the word "accend" into the console when asked by an NPC. The user then claims to have discovered the alternative ending by typing the word in, inspired by the crypto-esque text the user can discover near the beginning of the game. Upon entering the code, the user is then transported to another level. The sprite no longer represents Kanye, but instead a butterfly. You, the newborn butterfly, find yourself contained within a pyramid with nothing but terminals, which prompt you to enter text. The user claims to receive the following text upon entering this seemingly alternative dimension within the game. This was the spark to the biggest mystery yet to be solved within the video game industry. What on earth is the purpose of this, and why does it exist? Well, I think data mining comes into play after being displayed the message. The user was ultimately unable to continue further in this strange yet compelling narrative, due to the lack of cryptic knowledge needed to enter the in-game terminal to continue to the next stage. Upon pressing A on the terminal sprite, you are prompted to enter a password in order to continue to the next tier of the pyramid, and thus progressing to the next terminal, and it is indeed almost impossible to have correctly entered the passwords without accessing the developer files. Unfortunately, this alternative ending is not very well documented, nor is the video game still available to the public. That's right, the damn game asks for your personal information, and if you decide to put an address, it tells you to enjoy the next 2 weeks and await instruction. As for what happens next, I would like to note that although the ARG for this supposed extensionism alternate ending / call invitation, this is in fact very real. It does not necessarily mean that it is actually a real life interaction to an organization of any kind, however, because it is also worth noting that Kanye Quest is and always was an offline single player game running on an RPG Maker engine. This means that you can progress and complete the alternate cult-esque ending, all the while entering your personal information. But data miners have found that this info never gets sent to the server, meaning that such info is never known publicly. So, what the hell is the point of all this, you may ask? Well, for starters, there's talk about how this may be an ingenious way to get young people who are affiliated, or I guess inspired, by hacking, or anything in which may be their target demographic, to join this particular organization. And it may be that this organization has chosen this format of recruitment as a way to immediately filter out those who do not show interest or potential in this particular subject. As more research is being produced on this strange ending, many have come to the conclusion that this is in fact a real cult. The reason behind this is due to a group effort made via the Unsolved Mystery subreddit, where it was discovered that a tie between Kanye Quest and this seemingly obscure Twitter account named Xend Records occur. What's so strange about this account is its seemingly almost randomly generated posts, which appear to form indistinguishable content, leaving many readers baffled and scratching their heads. Data miners, ARG enthusiasts, and even psychologists are left dumbfounded by this, and I would assume that they are all questioning a lot of the same stuff we may be. Like, what is the reason of this? What was the expected outcome? What did the developer wish to achieve from this? Is Xend Records even tied to Kanye Quest? Or even Kanye West himself? Even stranger, upon the initial discovery of the request, not only have the developers removed any identification relating to themselves, but the video game itself has been removed from the web and off the face of the earth. And the Xend Records Twitter account appears to have seized their posts. Xend Records may initially appear to be tied to cult-like invites via the use of Kanye Quest, but what's even stranger is this. Xend Records is literally just that. It's a music record company. Of course, the most obvious reason for all of this would be for marketing purposes. ARGs are a common formation within the industry for just that. However, recruitment via the use of ARG-like components such as this is surprisingly common, and even more so, strange instances of invitations to cult-like organizations are not as uncommon as you would think. So, in conclusion, although this particular game may not process your personal info to a musically inspired cult, that does not mean that the rise of ARGs is inevitably safe. And as such, we must ask ourselves, what are some of the implications that alternate reality games could invoke on us within the near future, as well as what other games could potentially have a secret, such as the Kanye Quest ARG. That, my dear viewers, is a question that a lot of us will find an answer to eventually. Thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a good morning, a good afternoon, and I hope you all have yourselves a good night.